It was a dark and stormy night on Friday the 13th. The rain poured down in torrential torrents, and the wind howled alarmingly, whipping the bare branches of the twisted trees. Lightning flashed in the black sky, illuminating an old dilapidated house standing alone at the end of a long winding driveway. Inside the crumbling mansion, a young couple sat on an old dilapidated couch, their faces illuminated only by the flickering light of the television. They were here because of a sudden storm. Their car had broken down just as they were passing the old mansion. Now they were trapped, unable to call for help. "I don't like this place," the girl Sarah whispered nervously, pulling her thin sweater tighter around her. "It doesn't feel right, like we shouldn't be here." Her boyfriend Mike gave her a reassuring hug. "Don't worry, babe. It's just an old house. We'll get the car fixed as soon as the storm passes, and we'll be out of here before you know it." They didn't realize they weren't alone. Something was watching them from the darkness, its cold, dead eyes staring unblinkingly at its prey. It had been waiting here for decades, lurking in the darkness and feeding on the fear and despair of those lucky enough to stumble upon this cursed place. And now there was fresh meat. Suddenly, a loud cracking sound came from the kitchen, causing the couple to jump up. "What was that?" exclaimed Sarah, her voice shaking. Mike staggered to his feet and rose to his feet, grabbing the fireplace poker as a weapon. "Wait here. I'll go check it out." "No, don't leave me," pleaded Sarah. But it was too late. Mike disappeared into the impenetrable blackness of the hall, leaving her alone in the flickering light of the television. Sarah waited with bated breath, clutching a pillow to her chest. Minutes passed in agonizing silence, the only sound being the howling of the wind outside the window. Then the silence was broken by a piercing scream that made her jump up. "Mike!" she shouted, jumping up from the couch. She ran toward the kitchen, following the scream. But when she reached the doorway, she froze in horror at the sight before her. Mike was lying on the floor, his lifeless eyes staring blankly at the ceiling. Deep wounds covered his body, blood caked around him. And looming over him was a tall, bulky figure wearing a tattered burlap mask, a bloody machete clutched in his massive hand. Sarah's scream caught in her throat as the figure turned toward her, its empty eye sockets drilling her with a stare. She tried to run away, but her legs felt like they were filled with lead. She was trapped, helpless as the huge figure loomed over her, machete raised high. In the flickering light, she could make out the figure's face, rotting, deformed, features contorted in a horrible, deadly grin. It was Jason Voorhees, the legendary slasher who had terrorized this forest for decades, returning to find more victims. Sarah squeezed her eyes shut, prepared for the end, but the killing blow never came. Instead, she heard a heavy thud and the sound of a machete falling to the floor. She cautiously opened her eyes. Jason Voorhees lay at her feet, his massive body unmoving. Behind him stood a man in a dark cloak, holding a strange glowing amulet in one hand. "You are safe now, child," the cloaked man said in a deep, sonorous voice. "The demon that has plagued this forest for too long has been defeated." Sarah stared at him, her thoughts racing. "Who are you? What's going on?" The man lowered his hood, revealing the weathered but kind face of an older man. "I am the guardian of this cursed place. For years I have watched over it, waiting for the day when I can finally break the dark spell that has bound Jason Voorhees." He gestured at the defeated fighter. "This creature is no mere mortal. He is a demonic entity, a vengeful spirit born of the dark energies that permeate this land. It was only through the power of this amulet that I was able to defeat him." Sarah shook her head, still trying to comprehend what was happening. But why did he terrorize this forest for so long? The old man sighed heavily. "It's a long and tragic story. Many years ago, young Jason drowned in a lake on the Voorhees estate. His mother, distraught with grief, began a campaign of revenge, brutally killing anyone who set foot on the cursed land. When she was killed, Jason's tormented spirit rose from the lake, doomed to walk the earth as a demonic killer, driven by an unquenchable thirst for blood. He gave Sarah a serious look. And now that you and your boyfriend have stumbled upon this place, his hunger has been reawakened. Had I not intervened, you would have suffered the same fate as so many others before you. Sarah felt a shiver run down her spine. So what happens now? The old man held out a weathered hand to her. Now you must leave this cursed place and never come back. I'll make sure Jason Voorhees stays locked up and his reign of terror finally ends. Sarah hesitated for a moment, then put her hand in his. As they turned to leave, she looked back at the fallen assassin, his lifeless eyes staring blankly into the distance. She shuddered, realizing that she had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death. But as she stepped out into the stormy night, she felt relieved and grateful that she wasn't the latest victim of the legendary killer from Friday the 13th.